What's up, everybody? It's the Alex Leak and Friends NFL podcast. Back for another week. I'm your host, Alex Leak. We got Dustin on the show. What's up, Dustin?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Doing good. This is your Colts. This is your team. We're gonna preview the 2020 Indianapolis Colts. Are you excited for this season as a Colts fan?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely excited, man. I think this is gonna be the year where we finally get over that hump.
Nice. Phillip Rivers, big name quarterback coming into town. Recapping last year, you guys went 7-9, finished third in the AFC South, which is pretty good considering you felt like you had your star quarterback Andrew Luck until you retired right before the season, August 24th, thrusting Jacoby Brissett into the starting quarterback position. Brissett did pretty well. Colts would start 5-2, but a knee injury to Brissett would slow their roll, and you'd finish the season at 500, 8-8. Take us through what you were feeling. Luck just suddenly retires. That had to be a gut punch going into last season.
Yeah, that was the biggest heartbreak of my life so far.
Yeah.
Andrew Luck retiring, but
do you think he'll come back? What do you think his mindset is on that?
I'm hoping he comes back.
Yeah.
I feel he just needed a little bit of time away from the game.
Get his body right, get his mental right, yeah.
His injuries were injuries that end careers.
Yeah. I don't blame him for taking some time off. I really don't, but I do hope that he comes back in a year or two.
I hope he don't pull a Peyton Manning, and not want to come back to Indy.
Yeah. Then Jacoby Brissett, he took over. I was telling people, I was like, Brissett can play. He's probably the best backup in the league going into last year. Did you think Brissett could do it? And he's got the year started out pretty well before the injury.
Yeah, Brissett had a great season, which is why I'm kind of a little upset about them bringing in Phillip Rivers because I would love to see what Brissett can do. He's not a bad quarterback. He's big, strong arm, mobile. If he had one more year under his belt, which would have been this year, I think the Colts, he takes the Colts to possibly the AFC Championship game. Brissett learned under Tom Brady, so. Yeah.
He did great, and injuries can happen to anybody, and that was really what set last year back. Bringing in Phillip Rivers does take the potential to another level, though. That's got to be. What's your thoughts when Phillip Rivers signed with the Colts? It's time to take the 2020 year seriously then.
Yeah, my thoughts on Phillip Rivers is he's a proven quarterback. He hasn't won a Super Bowl, but he's a winner in San Diego. And sometimes when you're that old, you just need a fresh start at a different franchise. And I feel like Phillip Rivers can we're hoping take us to the promised land with being a veteran and having, stars around him like Calais Campbell and T.Y. Hilton, Trey Burton now.
Yeah. Not Calais Campbell. Paris Campbell.
Yeah, Paris Campbell. Sorry.
Yeah, I hear you. So, and then Phillip Rivers coming in, it's really the best spot for a veteran, older quarterback like that who's been hit a lot in his career with the Chargers. This is a great offensive line he's coming to play for. So, that's going to help his confidence right there. Maybe he has a more accurate season than he did last year with, they trust the line. On top of that, on the offensive side of the ball, you guys trade for DeForest Buckner away from the Niners. That's a hell of a move right there. Buckner was a beast all season last year.
Yeah, that was one hell of a trade. Him and Darius Leonard out there, Xavier from Minnesota.
Xavier Rhodes, yeah.
Definitely going to be a defense to not mess around with.
Yeah, Buckner, a 3-technique star. He's going to bring it in Indy. It's a great acquisition. Now, Xavier Rhodes, he's coming off a couple down years in Minnesota. here's to hoping he bounces back in Indy. I've always been a fan of Xavier Rhodes, but he did not have a good couple years there in Minnesota. And maybe it's like what you were saying, he needed a fresh start somewhere else.
Yeah, and I mean, before that, he was like a top 3
He was
in the league.
Yeah, Pro Bowler for sure.
Yeah, so everybody, in my opinion, usually needs a fresh start if things aren't going well somewhere.
Yeah,
I'm pretty big on the fresh starts.
Yeah, I agree. You guys also got defensive tackle Sheldon Day from the Niners, so those 2 DTs. Then tight end Trey Burton from the Bears. Now, when healthy, Trey Burton can be a damn good tight end, but last year he was hurt all year. But in 2018, he was really the key to our offense in Chicago, and you guys run a pretty similar offense over there with Frank Wright. So he could fit in really well.
Yeah, I mean, but it's still going to be hard. He's not no Eric Ebron, though.
No, absolutely not. I don't even know what to call him really, but he's kind of a tweener, fullback, tight end, but he's a great pass catcher. You can use him in multiple different ways. He can even throw the ball, former college quarterback.
A Kobe Fleener type of tight end, like the
I can see that. Yep. Is losing Eric Ebron, is that a big loss in your mind, or was it time to move on?
He was a big part of the production for Indianapolis last season because T.Y. Hilton was hurt, so the next number 1 target was obviously Eric Ebron.
Man, I wanted the Bears to sign Eric Ebron. Instead, we went after Jimmy Graham and paid him more money than what Ebron got. Ebron's younger, has accomplished more in the last recent years than Jimmy Graham. And all I can remember from Jimmy Graham is that drop touchdown in the back of the end zone where he tried to one-hand it against the Eagles.
Yeah. I can't believe the way Ebron was dissing some of the Detroit Lions players like that, man. That was crazy to me.
Yeah, that was crazy. I don't know. That's there. Who was he dissing? Was it Slay or one of them, or what was it? Because I think he's boys with those guys.
Yeah, but I thought he said something about Matthew Stafford too, didn't he?
He might have. I don't know. Usually they're pretty supportive, so I'll have to check that out. But yeah, I mean, Ebron going to Steelers, he's hoping Big Ben has a bounce back year. And then Devin Funchess going to Green Bay, but Funchess has since opted out of the 2020 season. Were you sad to see Funchess go?
I mean, Funchess really didn't do very much in Indianapolis because as soon as he got there, he had got hurt. So
yeah. He can be serviceable, but it doesn't always work out. Now, you guys' draft picks I really like. Michael Pittman Jr. is a great pick. I know you've seen a lot of him at USC.
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor, the running back out of Wisconsin, that's like a steal. I'm also a big fan of safety Julian Blackmon out of Utah after watching his film. He looks pretty nasty. And then you guys got quarterback Jacob Eason in the 4th round. Maybe as the guy after Phillip Rivers, if not Brissett. How do you feel about your guys' draft this year?
I thought the draft was very good, and I mean, it adds depth in the tailback field, which we haven't had in a long time.
Yeah.
With Marlon Mack getting most of the carries, but then you also have Jonathan Taylor who can come in and be lights out for you. So it really helps everything.
Do you see Michael Pittman having a huge rookie year?
Yeah, I think he'll help us in production. We're really going to need it. He's a quick, fast receiver. Trust me, I know. He used to burn the hell out of Notre Dame.
I was a big fan of his dad, who was a running back for Tampa Bay back in the day.
Yeah, I remember those days.
Now, Jonathan Taylor, how high are you on him? Do you think that he replaces – is he the number 1 back, or is it going to be Marlon Mack?
I would put Marlon Mack as the number 1 back. I mean, the season he had last year, he's the reason why we didn't clash completely.
Yeah. Yeah, and maybe at least to start the year. And if Taylor steals it by the end of the year, then so be it. But yeah, I agree with you on Marlon Mack. Players to watch. I mean, I expect Paris Campbell to have another, big second year. What are your thoughts on Paris Campbell's rookie season in Indy?
I love Paris Campbell. I mean, he's out of Ohio State. He's another one of those players that can play in the slot and also play as a deep receiver with speed. And I think they called him last year one of the fastest players on Indy. So he's definitely a burner.
Yeah, I was a big fan of his coming out of college and going to the draft last year. So I really like that pick for you guys, and I do with Philip Rivers. I expect Campbell and Michael Pittman to have big years, as well as T.Y. Hilton. So, all right, let's get to the prediction part. You are probably not going to agree with me. I've got the Colts going around the 7-10 win range, and I've got them going about 8-8, 9-7. I'll go 9-7.
Ouch.
Now let me hear yours.
Oh man, 16-0. No, I'm just playing, but I'm gonna go 11-5 to 10.
All right. Now this is a tough division, right? It's gonna be tough to get 11 wins in that division.
It is tough, but man, I think Houston losing DeAndre Hopkins is going to help us out a lot.
That's a big loss, absolutely.
And the Titans are going to be tough still, But I see us winning the division because the Titans always seem to have, after they have a good season, their history shows that they kind of collapse.
Yeah, they don't. The target's on their back and they feel it, and they have a down year. I agree with that. I am of the belief that the Texans. So I was talking about this on the Texan podcast. I think there's a way that Deshaun Watson has his best career season the year DeAndre Hopkins got traded, and that's because you know how Matthew Stafford and Calvin Johnson, it's easy sometimes to stare down that one receiver and to force the ball to him, try to get it to him more times than not. And I think now he has an array of weapons. He's got Brandon Cooks, Kenny Stills, Will Fuller, all those guys. I think that he spreads the ball around more and makes that defense maybe even tougher to defend. And I think David Johnson isn't a bad acquisition in that trade. He's not a star, but he's pretty serviceable and he's got good hands for a running back. So I think the Texans and Colts, I agree with you. The Titans might take a little bit of a step back, but the Texans and Colts are going to be battling, I think.
Yeah, and that's how it usually is. I mean, it's usually the Texans and Colts, but thinking about it, I know Watson is going to have Will Fuller, who can easily replace DeAndre Hopkins.
Will Fuller's a speedster, and he's got great hands. I'm a big fan of his.
But my thing about it is it's not the talent, it's the coach. Bill O'Brien always seems to make knucklehead decisions when it's during the seasons. I mean, in my opinion, he shouldn't even be the coach of the Texans still. But
well, at least he shouldn't be the GM of the Texans.
Okay. I'll give it GM, but he just makes the most knucklehead plays sometimes, man.
Yeah, you keep taking weapons away from Deshaun Watson. Eventually, he's going to want out. He's going to be like, I want to go somewhere where they're trying to win. Now, let me bounce this off of you because was it last year? Yes, I think it was last year. Yeah, it was last year. I went to Texans Colts, and that game, it was earlier in the year, and the Colts had an opportunity in overtime to punt the ball, and it pretty much would have led to a tie. And instead, I wonder if you remember this. Instead, Frank Reich decides to go for it on fourth down, doesn't get it, and the Texans win the game on a field goal as OT expires. You remember that?
Yes, I do.
I don't like that from Frank Reich. Other than that, I agree with you. But I never understood that move. What do you think?
But I mean, Frank Wright is known to be aggressive, and that was an aggressive play. And I mean, he had faith in our team, and making it. I mean, if you're a coach who's like, hey, if we can't make this 4th and 1, this 4th and 2, then we probably shouldn't even be out here anyways. Like,
yeah, but I don't know. I would have put it there. My big argument was a tie is better than a loss. But I understand the people that are like, I don't want a tie, but I don't want to lose either. But that's just
it's
me.
It's a gamble, but
yeah.
Frank Wright, I mean, expect him to do that in the future in Indy because, like I said, he's a very aggressive play caller, and he doesn't leave nothing on the table. So.
All right, and to be fair, he's had a pretty good career there as head coach so far. He's done pretty well, I think.
Yeah, and speaking of that, I think that's going to be somebody good for Phillip Rivers to learn under with him being a former quarterback on the Bills.
Yeah. Yeah, and Rivers is going to help the entire team too. I mean, don't underestimate how much Rivers has in that brain over all that whole career. A lot of years, a lot of good coaches, Norv Turner, guys like that.
Yeah, Norv Turner was good.
Yeah. So, all right, well, good stuff. I can't wait for the season. I hope we get a full season. Week 1 can't come quick enough. Thanks for coming on, Dustin, and previewing the Colts.
Thank you. Yeah, I hope we get a season 2 with the news that's coming out of college football. It's kind of disappointing, but
yeah. But the good news is the NFL is much better run at the top than the NCAA.
Yeah, so we're gonna get football. I'm just happy about that.
Yeah, hell yeah. All right, well, thanks for everybody for checking it out. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let us know what you think. Colts and Jaguars season preview is going up now. So good stuff, as always. Thanks for tuning in, and peace out.